Hello and welcome to Pride or Die. We're on a different channel today. What's up?
Yeah.
It's G and Ainsley and Rhi. If you haven't seen us before, this is a channel where a bunch of queers talk about a bunch of queers in comics, and it's real fun. we like it. We're a bunch of nerds, and we like talking about shit with you. So, we got people in the live
Really
chat.
gay.
It's real gay. Judah, hells to the yeah. What's up, dude? How you doing? Aramis, hello. What's up, mate? Polly, hola, and G, and Jennifer. Oh my god, everyone's here. Hi, how's everyone doing?
My favorite.
A
Look at
party.
these cool looking cats.
I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but I totally have a favorite, and it's Jen.
Jen, that's okay. That's allowed. I'll allow it. So we have an exciting episode ahead today. We are going to be talking about Midnighter and Apollo, which is a series from way back when. When I say way back when.
Yes, the distant past of 2016.
That's right. Remember that? Trump was president. It was a weird time.
Oh,
Probably
no.
talk to more of your family still.
You could go outside and do things. Yeah, good times. So this was written by Steve Orlando, who's excellent, obviously. Fernando Blanco did the art. Josh Reed did the lettering, and the coloring was done by Romulo Fiato.
Sure.
Fiato Jr. Yeah, sorry if I butchered that. Up on the screen is ISBN if you want to buy it. And the main characters, obviously, if the title didn't give it away, it's Midnighter and Apollo.
Really? Wow! So exciting.
Oh, it's
So
from
exciting.
DC, so I just assumed it was about Batman.
Yeah. It's definitely about that.
Well, according to Harper Row, Midnighter is in fact a scary gay Batman. So
that is an accurate description.
That is absolutely the vibe that I got reading this. I can't wait to.
That's canon. That's how she described him to
canon.
Cullen.
Oh, I love that. So this series was announced. I'm just going to read this verbatim. This is from the wiki page, but to give everyone an idea of what the fuck we're talking about today, this series was announced shortly after the cancellation of Midnighter that came with the end of the New 52 continuity and the Rebirth relaunch. With this series, Orlando wanted to explore the romantic relationship between Midnighter and Apollo, as they had only recently gotten back together when Midnighter was cancelled, and believed a comic focusing on the same-sex relationship of two superheroes was necessary. It was 16 plus rated because of the violence. It is very violent, which I love. It has been overwhelmingly positively received, especially by us little gabies. And some people have said like Apollo wasn't featured as much, like he was a little bit of a damsel. So we'll talk about that as well. We're going to like dive into everything today. How do I make us show our faces again? Here we are. Okay, so what are we saying in the chat? Jennifer, oh my God. Love. Dakota. Dakota's here. Coolest person ever. I heard that you're getting married. Is that true? May I say, you're all looking very beautiful this evening. Are you saying that?
It's I think a general statement if I'm reading it correctly.
I love that. That's great. Okay, so how should we start? I know Ainsley has a lot of thoughts and feelings on this.
A lot. Okay, so I have always been a Marvel person. Always. I've said this in several streams and like podcast or whatever, that my very first comic book was actually The Death of Superman. That was the first book that I stole out of my big brother's room when I was like 8.
What a mind fuck at 8. Holy shit.
It didn't really do it for me, but I ended up at the supermarket. Once upon a time, comic books were sold in the supermarket on spinner racks, and we were at the grocery store, and there was a comic book, and it had Wolverine on the cover, and I knew Wolverine from the X-Men animated TV show, and so I bought it. And from that moment on, it's been Marvel all the way, all day, every day.
Yes.
I was a true believer from the get-go, and DC just never snagged me like that. And then DC went from just being something that I wasn't interested in to something that I actively chose not to read because they just kept doing stupid stuff.
When you start out as a non-Batman fan, it's really easy to not jump onto DC.
And
it's ironic because the first comic I ever read was Long Halloween, but I do not consider myself a Batman fan. Like I like Batman how he's done in Titans, where he's like he's definitely an asshole.
Oh my
because that's how he would be.
Titans Batman is the unsung hero of that show. That is the best
100%.
part of that show.
100%.
He's so sassy.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm so glad someone agrees.
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I really do actually want to. No, so I've got a friend of mine who was determined to get me to read DC books. And so he drops off an issue of Midnighter and Apollo. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's like, canon gaze. I'm like,
yes, canon gaze.
And so like he got me. And it was the third or fourth issue. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm flipping through and I'm reading it. And this guy headbutts a bullet through a murder god's skull. And that was the panel that my heart skipped a beat, and I was in love. In less than 6 months, I owned almost every single issue of every single volume of The Authority, which is the series that Midnighter originated in. And it was all downhill from there. So like so that's where it started for me, was headbutting murder gods.
Hell yeah.
That's as good a place to start as any, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Should we give the audience a little summary of Glynis? I feel like a fake fan for not remembering comics and grocery store. fake fan, fake gamer girl.
Yep.
Where are we? Sorry. So I've got this first image, right? Let's do a little plot summary. Do you want to do that, Ainsley? Do you want to just tell people like what the arc is like?
So this was so great for someone like me who had no idea the universe, the characters, nothing. Steve Orlando just did such a fantastic job of introducing someone to this world and these characters, absolutely brand new. I had no clue what I was going in and what I was looking at. But and just this scene right here is one of my favorites. This basically tells you everything you need to know off the bat about Midnighter. He's hyper violent. He's just a complete ass-kicking monster. So Midnighter has a fight computer for a brain. So what it does is every time he goes into a combat situation or even non-combat, this computer brain analyzes everything and plays out every possibility, so he knows everything that is coming, and he just beats the shit out of people because the fight's already been done in his head and he already knows how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. So the basic plot is, the first issue kind of introduces us to these characters. There are some references to the previous Midnighter series that I have, but I haven't read yet.
Oh, there's so much to read. You can't do it.
Yeah, even without having read that, it's not difficult at all to keep up. It's just, little details that, this was something that happened and that's what they're referencing. But it's not like you're missing anything if you haven't read it, which is, like I said, really nice that you can read this as a standalone series and you will walk away with everything you need to know. So anyway, we get introduced to Midnighter and Apollo, who are crime fighters, who we discover have just kind of recently reconciled and come back together as a team, and as partners in every sense of the word.
Partners in crime and in butts.
Oh, and so this is one of my favorites. So I am a sucker for characters that should not be good with children, but are good with children. And Midnighter is one of them. Like, this guy is the most brutal, violent character that I have ever met outside of a Garth Ennis book. And he's just so gentle with these children and kind and like, my little heart. I love it.
I love that. Do you think Batman is a good dad? Sorry to throw that question at you.
I think he can be when the writers aren't trying to make him like a 17-year-old shitty edgelord. I say this all the time. Like, good dad Bruce is my favorite Bruce. So when he gets a decent writer, yes, he is a good dad, and I think that he should be portrayed as a good dad at all times.
Nice. Hell yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah.
It was interesting, like, this is another tangent, but like I saw Suicide Squad yesterday. It was real good. And I'm so sad that I missed the live stream. If you want to go check that out, that's on the IFLC channel. So I can't remember who was on that. Were either of you on that? The live stream for the Suicide Squad review?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice. All talked about like what your thoughts and feelings. Was it fun? A good episode? All that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anyone that didn't like it? No. Yeah.
It was hysterical. It was great.
I have one friend who actually lives in Australia who fucking hated it.
What?
But she was not on the stream. Yeah.
Wow. That's really why?
She thought that and F9 were like two of the worst movies she's ever seen.
I haven't seen F9. Is it? Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either.
And we're all like,
The only Fast and Furious movie I've bothered to see was Hobbs and Shaw, which was so much better than it had any right to be.
I love that.
I wanted
so
to see
good.
that.
It was so good.
The pandemic.
Yeah. That was what happened to me. We went into lockdown, which is why I saw it late.
Yeah.
But we opened back up, thankfully, and I went to go see it yesterday. It was so good. I can't remember why I started talking about this. Just like I think the discourse around like reading people's interpretations of after the fact has been both frustrating and fascinating. Like, I don't know if you've seen all the discourse around Harley's consent in that scene with the prime minister or whoever he was, the president.
I haven't.
They were saying like they're saying it's sexual assault, and I was like, that was not my interpretation of that scene.
No,
so,
she definitely felt like she had agency.
Yeah. So it's really
sorry, but
weird.
I am sorry that I keep looking down. There's this little itty bitty teeny tiny spider dangling from my mantle where my phone is on, and so I'm just watching him as he drops very slowly. So sorry.
Let's call her Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. What's up, bitch? How you do? All right. What's my next bit of art? So.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. This one.
Yep. And then like you turn a couple more pages, and like, so we discussed a little while ago about creators with queer characters, and they just kind of tiptoe around it, and they don't really show anything. And then there's Steve Orlando, who's like, nope, full on butt sex. There is no mistaking exactly what is happening right here. And this page took me by surprise. I really did not expect to see them go for it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm sorry.
Do you remember that cartoon from Saturday Night Live? The ambiguously gay duo.
The ambiguously gay duo. Yes.
Like, I feel like this is the explicitly gay duo.
That's great. Yeah, this is hot. Not gonna lie. Like, I wish we saw more of this all together. Like, I wish we saw more, sex and comics all together in the superhero universes. But this is great. I'm so glad it was the first issue too.
Consensual sex between a like loving, healthy couple should be shown way more often.
That would be so nice.
And not billed as like mature and explicit, because like no, that's something you should be modeling to teenagers actually.
Yeah. Interesting response to like from people. This is obviously something that people wanted to see. Like not just us pervs, but like the community as a whole wanted to see this so badly, and it really came through in the reviews at the time from what I was reading this week. So what else have we got?
Okay, so I need to talk about this page a little. So Henry Bendix is the villain, at least in the beginning. He's the person responsible for Midnighter having the fight brain. He was Bendix's lab experiment, essentially. and he was tortured and mutilated and had, body parts torn out and new things put in. Fun fact, Midnighter actually has an auxiliary heart. So if something happens and he is killed, his auxiliary heart will kick into gear and bring him back to life. But
dope.
They don't tell you that in these books, but that's
just like a
the little
like
information for us real ones out there.
That's the definition, right? He has two hearts.
Yes. Yep. Gallifreyans have two hearts.
Hell yeah.
So Bendix is a piece of shit. He is a bastard through and through. And he is the one who orchestrates everything. So we see Midnighter and Apollo get back together. They are resuming their romantic relationship, and they're taking it very slow. And then Bendix has Apollo killed and sent to hell. And so this is where this page comes in, is Midnighter has torn through, half a dozen villains trying to find Bendix, and he finally gets to him. And he's giving this monologue, this villain speech about how he's got all these traps set up and you want to kill me, but you can't because you can't spare the time because you have to save your lover. And he thinks that he's like really outsmarted him, and Midnighter just fucking kills him anyway. Like, I've never seen anything like it where he just, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Kills the shit out of him. And oh my God, it had me rolling.
Yes.
And I don't know that I've ever seen another comic character have a situation like this where the bad guy is trying to glow and then he's just fucking dead.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's my question to you on this, right? Because they have a conversation about this as a couple, like Midnighter's tendency for killing. There I go, killing again. And what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about Midnighter as a hero, quote unquote, like, and his morals and what do you think?
G, is there anything you want to say before I continue completely dominating this entire conversation?
Okay. Basically, I'm gonna sum up like on the bulk of my review of this is just like I am so glad this exists for other people because like this is not my type of story at all. It's angry gay Batman. Like I don't like Batman to begin with.
It's angry,
but like I am so glad that like a story like this exists. Because like this is not the normal like gay representation that you see. Normally you get sort of stereotypes when you get representation, and this is like very anti-stereotype. Other than they're gorgeous.
Yeah, apart from that.
With great haircuts.
That's right. Sorry, I had a thought. Now I've lost it. Sorry.
That's okay. So I do have to throw another piece of trivia out there. Just to let you all know, Midnighter has, in fact, he started off as a blonde in the Authority, but has gone from blonde to redhead to brunette. So he's gone the full spectrum. He is a walking bar joke.
Get you a man who can do it all.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I do love, like, hopping back on G's point. Like I do like when gay characters don't have to, or gay people in general do not have to be nice. They don't have to cater to you. So like it's nice to see that message flowing through in like I'm just myself and you can deal with it and look the other way, like suck my dick. I love that shit.
Well, like I'm an angry gay man who likes guns and I'm cool hurting people is not something you see very often.
And I'm like fine with it. And I'm fine with that. I don't have any qualms about it. Yeah. Like really confident in himself and who he is. And
I'm sure I think like Captain Holt is the only other like gay character I can think of that's like really, I guess, hetero
domineering. Yeah. He's such a good character now that you mention that. That's really interesting to think about. Yeah. All right, Ains, take it away. I want to hear your rant.
So real quick before I answer your question, and I'm so sorry, I'm just gonna be throwing out random pieces of Midnighter trivia because
how dare you?
I've read so many. So we talk about breaking stereotypes and how this series does it really, really well. These characters in particular do it really, really well, and I love the fact that Midnighter is this massively violent, brutal, savage, killing machine, and he's a bottom.
Yes, power
Yes.
bottom.
Dude, what was I was just reading something. Fuck. This is gonna bug me that I can't remember what it was. I was reading something and they were like, it was a gay dude bitching about like, I'm sick of bottoming. No, it was Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X,
Lol.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was saying like bottoming shouldn't be a joke, and like that doesn't mean that you're like, you know, a fairy or like less manly or less tough or whatever. Which
Oh yeah,
let's
he
think
is a
about,
proud
by the
power
way,
bottom.
what
Love it.
bottoming is. Bottoming is way more
Intense and
yeah.
like physically exerting than
Yeah.
giving, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
So-
real quick before we move on, if any of y'all haven't tried butt stuff, you should probably try butt stuff.
You know, everyone
You
should try butt stuff. Yeah.
Everyone should try butt stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Not even just at home by yourself, you know? Like if
Yeah.
you're not comfortable, butt stuff with a friend is great if you have a friend, but like just a finger up there, you know?
Yeah, let me
Give it a
put
shot.
that up on the screen. Try.
If it's good enough for Deadpool, it is good enough for you.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
actually, you know what? That's a terrible way to live your life. Yeah, for sure. You know what? But also, pro tip: try it safely because, like,
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
okay.
carrying a
Wait.
Teen Vogue has a great
Lube,
butt stuff
lube,
guide.
lube,
Yes.
lube, lube.
Even
Do
for
not take
vaginal
your
shit, man,
hints
use
from
lube.
porn. Do not take your tips from fan fiction.
Also, if you're with someone with a
better.
vagina and you're doing butt stuff and you want to do stuff in the vagina, go wash your hands.
Just to have some basic hygiene. It's
Th-
good.
no
for
double
everyone.
dipping.
No double dipping.
Anyway, to finally answer your question, Rhi,
I'm so sorry. I derailed
there
us
is
entirely.
no, that's fine. There is in fact a panel where Midnighter and Apollo are having the exact conversation, and Midnighter has a line that some people might not agree with it, but I really like it. And he looks at him and says, "Some people just need to be killed."
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's true.
So that's my stance. Is he sums it up right there in that line? Some people just need to be killed.
Has there ever been a
Interesting.
crossover between Jason Todd and Midnighter? Because I feel like if there hasn't, that's like missed potential.
There really hasn't, but there was a fantastic series called Grayson, and it was by Tim
good.
Seeley and Tom King, and Midnighter makes several appearances in it. And so Midnighter and Dick Grayson are friends, but I
That's
don't
when, like-
think that he's met any of the other Robin
I
or
would
Robin
love
and Jasons.
to see, yeah, like, because I think that would be like, you know, you're maybe the Batman I wish. Because you know Midnighter would have killed the shit out of Joker.
Oh my god!
100%.
Oh my god! Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I need
Like-
to go back and elaborate on, because I actually don't think I agree with the some people just need to die point. I think like even if you commit the most, I don't know, maybe I'd change my mind if it was like really super atrocious and I just don't know how I would react to something like that yet. But theoretically, what I'm trying to say is like, don't we gain more from keeping them alive and sort of like learning from them in a confined, away from society environment rather than just axing them off the face of the planet?
I don't think so. In the start of this particular series, the reason that Midnighter is on page being great with kids, even though he really shouldn't be, is because this gang of subway pirates, essentially, has been kidnapping children and brutally, ritualistically sacrificing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I really am okay with the idea of a bunch of child murderers just being killed the shit out of.
Sorry,
I
I
That's
think
should.
not
there's
me at
also
all.
like, yeah, like let's learn from people, but like not every person's going to want to be cooperative and want to be like
100%.
your
Yeah.
So like,
And like, I definitely wouldn't argue that at all. And like, I should have put a little disclaimer at the beginning, being like, I do not advocate for child abuse.
Well, no. But that's what I'm saying. Is
oh
like
yeah,
that's why I agree with the idea that some people, not all villains, not all bad guys, not all
But the
people
rest
who
of
make
them,
terrible decisions, but some people just need to be killed. Like
Interesting.
Joker.
Well,
Joker just needed to be killed, and nobody would fucking do it. And when somebody finally fucking did, Bruce brought him fucking back.
I know.
But we're not talking about that. That's okay. That's all right. We're gonna
They're two halves of the same coin. All right, what is this? Jim Husband, straight out of Dirty Harry. There's nothing wrong with killing people as long as the right people get killed.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim. How you doing? Is Jim a friend of yours?
Yeah, I know Jim.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I do think we base way too much of our morality around, like, killing is bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or rather, death is bad.
Yep.
Is it?
It is a weird, like, I say this all the times. We're going full tangent now, but I just wanted to talk about this because it's so fascinating. Like,
what happens?
Yeah, I love this. I constantly think about, like, how Western society is so weird about death. Like, we pretend it isn't going to happen, and then we act surprised when it does. And
you know what fucks me up? And I'm sorry, Christians that are, like, super scared of death, because I'm like, if you are indeed Christian, and if you are indeed secure in your faith,
yeah, that is mind-boggling.
right?
Yeah.
Should you not but be, like, actually really excited?
yeah,
but yeah, like
that's your ultimate goal, right? Is to get there.
Yeah.
But I get,
basically,
like,
yeah.
everything about faith is, like, logic based, because if it was, you would be a mathematician.
Yeah.
And you know, like, I can say that as a Christian, I'm afraid of my death hurting.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sad at the idea of leaving people behind or dying young and, you know, missing out on a lot of things, but I'm not afraid of what's going to happen to me after.
Yeah.
What?
We're all going to die on piles of to be read.
Oh my god, yeah.
Our corpse, like, extended out on piles of books.
You can see part of my to be read pile in the background behind me.
I don't know.
God,
Is
so
it
bad.
easily accessible for you to show the stack that you picked up today? I just want people to see it.
Yeah, so I'm up to like 4,700 comics. I haven't actually put any of my books away for like 5 months, and so what do I do on Free Comic Book Day? I go out and
Like, okay, I'm assuming everyone here knows about this, but there's a day, twice a year, when you can go to a comic book
once
store
a year,
and
usually.
they give you the comic books just free. Like, hey, see all those comics? You know what? Just take them. They're free.
Yep.
And
it's
Peter
very much
like
true and right.
Free Comic Book Day. They are specially made for Free Comic Book Day.
Like, these aren't like issues that have been printed before and then they reprint it. It's like, this is a brand new thing. You can only get it. So, like, there's the collector aspect. It's very much like if you've gotten addicted to heroin or any other hard drugs.
I have
kind
actually.
Of like that, like, it's like that, like, hey, you're here for your marijuana. Would you like to try this much harder drug? And you're like, oh, sure, if it's free. And then you're like, oh man, did you want to buy my car for a gram? It's like that, but comic books.
Yeah.
Yep. And what is really cool is a lot of times they will print or reprint a #1 issue, like Dr. Aphra's first appearance. I believe was also a Free Comic Book Day comic.
Yeah.
That's a Star Wars character.
Ms. Marvel #1 was a Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, I happened to notice that Space Pirate Captain Harlock #1, which I am collecting, is in my stack of Free Comic Book Day comics.
I did not see that one, and now I'm kind of sad.
Oh no! If there's any left at my shop, I'll grab you one and I'll put it in the mail.
Nice. I think we have one more shop to visit before Free Comic Book Week is over.
Oh.
Nice.
Dude, okay. I have the same fear as Jim.
Me
Whenever
too.
there's like some movie or show that I'm really excited about,
you're like, I have to finish it before I die.
Well, like, and here's my thing. I feel like it's justified for me because, like, there were things like I was watching with my mom or my dad, and they legit did die before those things finished.
Oh my God.
The last movie my mom ever saw was 20,000 BC. You know how bad that movie was?
That makes me so sad.
Right?
That's so shit. God damn it. This is why you don't watch bad movies. Anything can happen.
No. And like that legit is a lesson I learned. Just like, I'm just not wasting my time because I could die tomorrow.
Did you finish the series after they passed without them?
Generally, yes.
Yeah. I was just wondering
It
like what
depends,
that was like.
I'm like, I can't even think of an example at this point.
I'm trying to
just
think what else
watch stuff in their honor.
Yeah, like
Right.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, legacy watches. That'd be cute.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I definitely watch stuff now that I would not. I watch a lot of Lovejoy now, and like I hated that as a kid, but now I'm like, okay,
it's
I get
nostalgic. Yeah,
it. Doing like
that's
Antiques
sweet.
Roadshow, but that's just fun.
I like Antiques Roadshow.
Everyone likes Antiques Roadshow because you want to think you have one of those things.
That's exactly right. I love how did we end up here from butt stuff? How did we get
Story
here?
of my life. How did
right.
we end up here from butt stuff?
I honestly, I'm looking back.
We're just gonna have to watch the video back and try and.
That's actually what we're gonna put on the invites for our wedding.
That's good because I put them on there. So.
Oh, good,
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we up to? We just looked at this.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. So. This was my first introduction to actually DC Comics' oldest LGBT character, Gregorio De La Vega, who was...
Oh my god, can you say that again? I want to record it from my text message tone or some shit. That was hot.
Gregorio De La Vega, who was known as Extraño, which was not a nice name. He was not a respected character, clearly. He was very much a stereotype. He had other characters call him Auntie, and he was super flamboyant, and like there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Like one of my favorite writers is Joe Glass. He does a series called The Pride, and a lot of the characters
so great. We've also
come across
go check out his interview.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Yep.
As you know, stereotypical, but these characters are based on him and his friends and the people that he's met, and so they're real people. But this was not coming from a place of I am modeling this character after myself and my friends in the community. This was DC making fun of us faggots, which was not super. It wasn't great, but Steve Orlando gets his hands on this character and treats him with so much dignity and respect, and he's so freaking cool, and he's so debonair and just like effortlessly charming, even though he's not even in the series very long. Like, I fell in love with him. I would read literally anything with this man, especially with Steve Orlando helming it. Like, I really need DC to give him this character again and just let him go nuts, because he would do such an amazing job.
You bring up a really good point too, and we talked about this in our Pride review. With the sorry, I just saw the private chat and lost my train of thought because I'm an idiot. Sorry. What were we saying? Something really important.
But when review.
You can tell the difference between when it's like written from a place of these are my people and I respect them and want to represent them wholly, and then versus like someone that is writing a stereotype. You can really tell as you're reading it, it really comes through. And that's why I think when we were reviewing DC Pride on the IFLC channel, we were talking about how we could tell it was written by the community.
Yeah.
Right? It comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely
so it's nice to see this again in that.
I also just, everything in this panel makes me want to know more about this character.
Yep.
What is the triangle on his desk? What is this room? What's that thing? How did he get there? Like, I just want to know everything about this character.
Yes.
That's my favorite part of like good comics is, hang on, I'll get the panel off my face.
A good comic or comic book movie should make me want to spend like $100 immediately on more shit.
Immediately. And
which is
like,
how I know Black Widow was good.
Oh yeah, and it should drop all these like exactly what you were saying, like the Alan Moore thing. I know that's like to the extreme where he's like put a fucking splotch on the sidewalk, and you're like, but why? What does it mean? But that's the shit in the background, like that we should be getting and like wondering about and intrigued about, because that's what gets us buying more shit, like you said. Yep. All right, what's the next one?
Yeah. So continuing along with the story, Midnighter goes to Gregorio, who is an old friend of his, and you can actually see a past adventure that the two of them had together in the DC Pride comic, where they go and stop a vampire who wants to change history because he hates homos. And so he goes to Extraño, who explains to him that Apollo is in hell, and he and Midnighter start formulating a plan to go and get Apollo back, because Midnighter's not going to stop. And Gregorio knows that, and so he agrees to help him and sends him to go get. And this is really cool stuff. I love when writers know their comic history and they pull obscure shit from the past out of the ether. The Ace of Winchesters, which I think last showed up in a comic book in 1994 in Hellblazer, when it was still a Vertigo title. And so, so now Midnighter is on the quest for the Ace of Winchesters to go shoot this gun god and get to his bubby, his baby.
This whole series just made me want to go watch Supernatural. In fact, if they ever do like a live action, I kind of want Jensen Ackles to be Midnighter. I think he would be so good.
Oh, he would be such a good Midnighter. He would be fantastic.
I've seen fan art of him as Midnighter for sure. 100%. I've seen that on Reddit somewhere, and I would froth. I would die.
Oh, I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see him in season 3 of The Boys. Like, it's going to be the best. He has such chemistry with other actors that are, like, funny. And there's Carl Urban and oh, my goodness. Can't wait.
Yeah. I'll just do a whole show on Carl Urban. I know he's not gay.
No, he's like...
I love Carl Urban.
I love him anything so much. We want to be queer culture is queer culture. So
very true.
You could make the argument that he's probably made a few people realize they were gay.
Yeah, he's so gorgeous,
so
hot. Anyway,
and so talented.
But anyway, so
maybe that could be there's our Apollo.
Yeah,
oh yeah. But yeah, this series is so unapologetically, gruesomely bloody. And I had never really read anything like it. I hadn't read The Boys yet. I hadn't read Preacher yet. I hadn't read any of this stuff yet. So this was so jarring to me, but so exciting. Like, I cannot believe that this is actually happening. It's just freaking fantastic. Like, look at this. It's so detailed. It's so gory. It's amazing.
For anyone that's watching on a mobile, stop it. Go put it on a TV right now, because you need to see this full screen and enjoy the who was it before? Jennifer said, I think, commented that the motion in the art is really well done, and this is a really good example of that. Again, is like showing you can really just feel the hits and punches and swings, and it's awesome. All the onomatopoeia. All the onomatopoeia.
I love when you don't need to like fully read the onomatopoeias, because like it just your brain like fills in the noises.
Yeah. It just makes sense. Yeah. And that's like a real skill. Like, I've seen it when it's done poorly. We should do that. Yeah. We should do some like good and bad examples of stuff like that. That'll be a good, fun episode.
Oh, absolutely. I'd go for it. But so with the previous monster that we saw in the last panel, whose face he punched into a hole, informed him that he did not have the Ace of Winchesters, that someone got to it before him. Ha 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 ha. So Midnighter obliterates his face and manages to find a single bullet, just one bullet, which he then takes with him, finds the Mauser, who has destroyed the Ace of Winchesters. The gun is gone, and he's laughing at him like, ha ha ha, I've taken away the only thing that you could have used to defeat me, and now you're going to be stuck in hell forever, and I'm going to torture you, and you can't do anything with that measly little bullet. And so he headbutts the bullet through this murder god's brain, and I'm just...
Nice.
Like, you can't beat that! You can't beat it!
Like, I'm not into, like, super violence. Nothing against it. It's just not my thing. But, like, this? I'm
this is
here
different.
For this.
This hits different. Yeah, I get it. I also think our channel tagline should be, what is it? A headbutt a bullet through a murder god's. What did you
Brain.
say? How did you phrase it?
Yeah,
You said it so
headbutting a bullet through a murder god's brain. Yeah.
Yes, and then someone said something earlier. I was going to jump in because we're trying to think of new channel names. It's not just Respawn; it's Pride or Die. G and I are going to do a book club. It's going to be fucking sick. It's going to be on Kindred by Octavia Butler.
Which
it's going
you
to be
may
so fun.
see in the background behind me in
Yes.
the fading light.
Oh, hang on.
G once upon a time said that they would read Odd Thomas with me, and then we just never did. So, I'm just saying.
We can do that next.
Yeah,
Just
I would love
throwing that out there.
I'd be so into that.
I think Kindred is like a 6-week read.
Yep.
It's not terribly long. And it's really convenient because the graphic novel and the novel are like the same chapters.
Yep.
So it's not
really?
like if anyone was here for like when we did Dune, that was super difficult because each edition there's no chapters. So each edition is like a different page length between sections. It was terrible having to figure that out.
Awful.
Yeah, it's
so
difficult.
like I think the test from now on, if we're ever doing multiple, is like just this. Kindred is now the bar.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, just organize your book, Frank Herbert. You piece of shit.
I realized it's like 1920 whatever when he was writing that, but still,
yeah,
do better.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to throw up the next panel, this is or the next piece. That is the immediate aftermath. Again, just really bloody. Really gory, and you can't really see the dialogue, but so the Mazda goes like, you can't, and Midnighter's got the dialogue bubble that says, go on. The Mazda falls down and dies. There are so many great little moments like that where he is just the most sarcastic, sassy little shit, and I'm so here for it. I am here for his nonsense.
Can we just talk about the coloring
so
here too?
funny.
I love the blood-soaked coat and like the splatter and everything is colored so perfectly. It just feels so.
I like that it's a dark comic that is not dark in
it's colorful.
Coloring.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
It's nice to see. All right, what's next?
So in the meantime, while Midnighter is murdering literally everyone in heaven and earth, or hell and earth, Apollo has been trapped.
I'm tired of their lives. That's all
Apollo has been trapped by Niran, who is basically Satan, who is trying to break him down and break his spirit and make him give up. And so, again, you can't really read the dialogue here, but it's really deep and really intense. And he talks about how when he was 12, he came out to his family, and his father sent him away. And then, like, when he was 13, he was abducted by aliens who experimented on him for years, trying to turn him into a manufactured Superman. That's where his powers come from. And then he escaped and tried to go home, and now his father had 2 reasons to consider him not a human being. And I'm like, oh my God, like he's telling us this story, and it goes really quickly, but it's so it really feels organic and genuine. It doesn't, to me at least, it doesn't feel like he's just sitting there spouting exposition. I mean, like, I was really feeling it, like because he's saying all of this stuff to this guy to tell him, people have been trying to break me my entire life, and they were better people than you. You can't do it. I will never break. And I'm just like,
yeah. There's so many badass moments.
So much of this was such a good allegory for like the gay experience without really being explicit with it. Mm-hmm. Especially of that, like literally having to go like through hell for your partner.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
See, I would have just read. I wanted like just the Apollo half. That was the book for me.
Oh yeah. And I think that was a major complaint from reviewers at the time, was like there wasn't enough.
I'm really glad that wasn't just me, because I was like, it felt very much like Midnighter,
yeah,
and Apollo. Like,
yeah. So, Rhi, you mentioned earlier that someone, or I don't remember someone, but you mentioned earlier that the term was that Apollo was a damsel, and I will admit that really is the case. Like, this is Midnighter's story for the most part, but we get moments like the one that we just saw where he gets the sole focus and he gets some quality writing. Like, Steve Orlando's writing on this character was so good for the small amount of time that we really get to see him shine. No pun intended, I promise. So this page again, like, man, I'm kicking myself that I didn't like try and crop them to make it easier to read.
It's okay. That's why I'm telling people I should have done that too. But
also go buy it and read it yourself.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
But also, like, if you chuck it on your fucking 50-inch TV, you'll be able to read it. I can read it on my laptop screen. So just do that. Like,
I'm not terribly good at sexual stuff, but this last panel here, that's really sexy, right?
Right, and like I was just going to say, one of my favorite things about Midnighter is this fucking grin that he has, where he's about to like tear shit up. Yeah, and I can imagine like that same smile happens in other aspects of his life. It's just like he's 100%. Yeah, I love it. I just love the like. I can't even do it. I'm trying to like imitate it. I'm like, it's just so evil.
Like,
so...
I feel like he might grab me and just flip me around.
Have his way.
Yeah, like
hell yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's just
daddy too.
More great dialogue where the villain is trying to be all scary and talk him down and
fight me. You can
and he's just like, I'm here to kick your ass, and that's about it. I'm here to get Apollo and kick your ass. So let's do it. And like I said, I just fucking love it so much.
All that gum. Yeah, it's so good. It's real badass. I love it. All right, what else? We got this guy.
And see, now he's doing another really cute grin.
Yeah. It's so cute. Look at the eyebrow.
That damn smile.
I've got my
because again, Neron is telling him, like, your fight computer doesn't work here, and you can't possibly hope to beat me, and what chance do you have? And he's like, well, I've got my fist.
Right, I have fist.
Hey, Ainsley,
he's too stupid to lose. That's his whole thing. Is like unbeatable, impossible odds, and he's like, let's go.
I love that. Can you pronounce this castle name for me?
What's that?
Can you pronounce this castle name for me? It's like hell. Castle.
Epicaricacious?
Oh my god. So quick. So correct. All right. I'm so glad you did that because I was looking at it going, should I try?
So, not a surprise to anyone, Midnighter beats the shit out of him.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
By the way,
like you can see right there, his eye is popped out of his head, and his face is all just mangled and bloodied and just mashed in. So yeah, Midnighter beat the shit out of Satan. So that's pretty cool.
I know we've seen it so many times. Like I remember talking to Tina Horn about this in Safe Sex when we interviewed her about that image series, and there was this scene where like someone is standing on someone with a stiletto. I think it's a cop and like a sex worker has a heel on his face like that, and I've seen it beautiful. It's so fucking great. I've seen it so many times in other media, this angle of like the foot on someone from the bottom up, and every time it's so powerful. And I also get Walking Dead vibes from the fucking eye popping out, like the Glenn death. It's so sad.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. It didn't happen. It wasn't real. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, this is such a fucking, again, the coloring. I love like the glow around him, and it's just sick. Anyway,
so something I neglected to mention. So when this all starts and Gregorio sends him to hell to go rescue Apollo, the way that he does it is through magic, and there's a candle, a black candle, that as long as it's burning, it'll keep the door back to Earth open. and Midnighter has 7 minutes. So all of this happens in 7 minutes of real time. So that's another thing that I think is really cool.
That's
is kind of
amazing.
time shenanigans.
Yeah.
So he finally beats Neron, and it looks like he's just going to die there because Neron sent Apollo away so that they would be separated, but Apollo heard his voice and followed it, and he burst in, of course, at the last minute, doing the very daring, heroic rescue, and it's super romantic and super adorable, and I love it a lot.
It's very romantic, this comic. I agree. It's
Yes.
very romantic.
And the next panel is, in fact, Apollo calling Neron out on his bullshit, trying to cheat and losing anyway. And for this miniseries to have been so highly focused on Midnighter, the fact that it's Apollo who saves the day, I think is really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. You're right.
Yep, he busts in, and he, if you want to switch to the next page, he grabs Midnighter and he busts them out of hell.
Oh,
and they have a kiss when they get married.
Yeah, I just need to show. I need to show this.
And I love how like the shape of their face and his arm makes a heart.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't even notice that. That's so nice. Cute.
Yeah, this is really good.
That artistic eye, man.
Yeah, I've thought about getting this printed and put up because it's just so.
It's legit.
It's so
gorgeous.
Sweet. It's just so sweet.
Like I don't know how you showed light so well in a like monochromatic piece of art.
Yeah, that's the glow from it. It's amazing, amazing.
So good.
All right.
Oh.
And then we get to the end where they move back in with each other, and it's really cute, and they get a happy ending, and that's my favorite part.
Yes,
yeah.
Ainsley,
it's
that's
so
sweet.
Nice to see the gays get a happy ending.
Hell yeah, that's
now,
the shit.
Can we see these characters anywhere like recently? Because this is 2017, right?
2016.
16, yeah.
So what have these boys been up to?
Mostly getting ignored in the DC main continuity. From what I've seen, DC has tried to introduce these characters a few times. Then the New 52, they did an Authority series that was terrible. It was so bad. Well, the first half of it got better as it went on, but it was. I
remember. Yeah,
it was not good. And then they brought Midnighter in a few different places. He was apparently in Future State, which I've got every single issue of every single Future State book that DC put out, but I haven't read them yet.
TM.
So there is, they are up to something. Action Comics. And I think it started around 1028, but don't quote me on that. I'd have to double check. And it's still currently going. So in the end of, or the back of the book, the last few pages of each issue has been a little story that's been going on. And once again, I've been collecting them, but I haven't read them yet. But yeah, so they are up to something right now in Action Comics. There is a Superman and the Authority miniseries that is currently ongoing. Issue number 1 is out now, and issue number 2 is soon to be released. And in December, maybe, there will be inexplicably a Midnighter annual. Yeah, wow. I thought that you had to have a series to have an annual, but apparently not. But it's Midnighter, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. I would love to review that with you when it comes out. That'd be great.
Oh yeah,
that'd be really fun.
Oh yeah.
G, do you have any final thoughts on this little mini series?
I think we need an Apollo series.
Yeah, Apollo and Midnighter.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I wouldn't complain at all.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd be down for that. What about you, Ains? Like, obviously, you rate this highly.
Oh my god. This series is singularly solely responsible for me reading DC Comics. I would not own a single DC comic if it were not for Midnighter and Apollo. This opened the door because, like I said, I read this. I went out and collected the Authority. Someone said, "Hey, Midnighter is in Grayson," so I ran out and I bought the entire series of Grayson, and that got me invested in Nightwing. And so now I've been collecting the Nightwing books that I think Mariko Tamaki is writing currently. It's either that or she's writing one of the detective comics. Tinian's writing. Oh my god, there are too many Batman books.
Yeah.
Too many Batman books.
Yeah. But she also just writes a lot.
Right. And somehow,
she
like,
does.
not enough.
Yeah, also not enough. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, like, I would read anything. She could put her name on a phone book. I would read it.
Cute.
I fucking
You know what?
love
It would be a
Mariko
phone
Tamaki
book
so
with a
much.
really good plot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and she'd have a great voice for it, inexplicably. Yeah, I love this series. I love the writing. I love the art. I love the characters. I love that it opened so many doors for me and introduced me to this wealth of characters and stories and books that I never would have touched otherwise. I think that everyone should read it, and I think everyone should write to DC and say, give Steve Orlando a Midnighter and Apollo book again. Give him the characters, let him run crazy, because he's so good with them.
Do you know what he's been working on lately? I can look it up, but I was just curious what he's been doing. Let me Google.
You asked me that, and so now I don't know anymore.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just gonna see if I can recommend.
Yeah, I feel like he did something recently besides a story in the DC Pride book.
Yep.
But yeah, there's just, oh my god, so much going on.
Yeah, let me have a squiz. So he is doing Gotham City. Just recently did Gotham City Monsters. Okay. That wrapped in 2020, and then Martian Manhunter to 2020. Ooh. Wonder Woman 2020. He's done some like Milk Wars with Gerard Way in 2018.
Oh, nice.
So that's really fun.
How do I not own that?
By the way, good for him, for Gerard Way. I never listened to his music, but
I was obsessed as a teenager with NCR.
I was the wrong generation. I was too old when it came out. It was not music for me. But like I'm so happy for him that he made this transition to doing something that he loves. Like, I remember reading in an article that like music almost killed him. He had an eating disorder because of the pressure to maintain this image. And like, I just hope he makes gobs and gobs of money and just keeps writing, and that he's happy forever.
Yeah. He's definitely had some, like, you can tell in his music, like, he's definitely had struggles, but like, he's such a creative person, and reading Umbrella Academy was a joy for me because it was just so weird. And I just love when people just go off the deep end into the crazy, you know, like
when they can just go nuts.
That's right. Like, one of the main characters is like, has a gorilla chest, you know, like he's just got a gorilla chest, and that's just him. And then there's like a fucking violin girl, and like there's just everything weird that you could possibly have a fever dream about is in that series. And I don't know, have you guys seen the show? I like the show too, even though I could do without the incest.
Yeah, that's...
Wait, what?
That's crazy. Yeah, in the show, Luther and
Allison?
Oh my god,
Allison
are in love with each other, and they were all raised as siblings from babies. So that's like really creepy.
It's just gross. Yeah, it's just gross.
I have complicated feelings about that.
Whoa!
Like, okay, no, like
like
a friend of mine, people I know.
Anyway, Dakota
they married cousins. Well, like, I have a friend who married her cousin, and like, she's adopted. Friend of a friend who married a cousin, and she's adopted, so they're not related. But like, they were raised like cousins, like right next door to each other, so almost like siblings. But like, I don't know if there's no like biological issue. I don't know.
Like, you're not gonna have kids. It doesn't
If
matter.
that's
I mean,
if that's
like,
the person that like is your teammate,
it's
and
still
you get
a
along
little
great,
weird.
The issue
It's
that
not
I
even
have,
necessarily the weirdest thing out there, but it's still a little weird.
yeah,
I don't
the
know.
issue I
Well,
have
there's a
with it
lot
is
about
like,
relationships that are weird. So like,
that's true. That's true.
Yes.
I'm sure there are examples out there. God, someone's gonna clip this and it's gonna come back to haunt me. But I'm sure there are examples out
you know
there
what?
of
I've said this before, so like, it's probably recorded somewhere. I stand
was-
by it.
right.
You
I
can
was gonna
at
say,
me on this one.
there's
I'm
definitely
ready.
healthy examples of ancestral relationships are probably out there, and they're probably very happy together, and that's fine. And
Yeah, just look up British history.
hey, look up the royal family. Woo! Truth though. Where was I going
Wow,
with this?
you just went straight for the jugular on that one.
Yeah,
Like,
Jesus.
Hey, they were mean to Meghan Markle. So like,
oh, that's very
all bets
true.
are
Yeah,
off
fuck
with
'em.
me now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm there for it.
Oh God, I love Meghan Markle. She's so gorgeous.
Right? She
So
did
talented.
wrong.
Fucking love her. She's amazing. But
You know
anyway, so
what?
yeah,
I
the
love
series
Harry
was.
for standing by her the way that Charles never ever did for Diana. So
Yes.
Truth.
that's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. Okay, another tangent. You guys have to watch this video. It's actually of a group of gay men. I think there's like 6 of them, and they're playing cards, and it's on YouTube. You can look it up. Just look up reaction to Diana's death live or something. This dude got a camcorder like on the day, and so he was just testing it and recording them playing the game, but they had the TV on in the background, and so the updates were like, she's in critical condition, she might be dying, she's dead. So like, it was the ramp up to and reactions to, and like, these men, she was an icon for these men in the 90s, and so they were just like, they were sobbing, and just like,
Dude, like I
it's
fucking
such a time
loved
capsule.
Princess Diana. Like
Hell
I was
yeah.
a little kid when she died, but like okay. So my name is Welsh, and so I grew up like with my mom telling me like, "Oh, you're Welsh," which like you understand in that weird little kid way you understand stuff. And so like she was the Princess of Wales, so I was like, "Okay, well she's the princess of my people." So like she's my
Aw,
princess in little
that's
kid brain.
cute. Yeah.
And so yeah, it was just like it's like finding out that, fucking Snow White died or something. Like this is like a fictional character to me. And like
Yep.
I mean, I was young enough that yeah, like other than pets, I'd never experienced death. So like it was like oh, I get so anytime watching Princess Diana shit when they show like when her death happened, like you can catch me just ugly crying.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was awful because she was such a beacon of hope for people, so many people, because
She was too pure for the British family.
Yeah.
Like they did
Oh
not
yeah,
deserve
and
her.
and she was like the only person who was trying to destigmatize AIDS,
right?
And that was just
she would
incredible.
just, like, listening to her, it's in the tapes that she did when she was like ghostwriting her own book, of talking about like going and visiting patients, and like her talking about like, well, I just thought I should hug them because like if I was sick, I like to get a hug when I'm sick.
Oh, fuck,
and so like
amazing.
her and Mr. Rogers are just paragons of like treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah,
and like
I love those.
Like I don't know if I'm sure you guys remember, though younger people I think don't, that like there was like you weren't supposed to touch people with AIDS because you might get it.
Yeah,
And, like,
I remember.
I grew up with
huge phobia in the 90s. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
And so yeah, like a princess being willing to hug someone that like was a modern day leper was a big fucking deal.
100%.
I actually saw the AIDS quilt because I was living in DC when that happened. Yeah,
I'm jealous.
So I saw it in person. But I am really excited for Kristen Stewart to play Princess Diana.
She's gonna be so good.
Oh my god, have you seen like the promotional image of her as Princess Diana?
She's gonna be so good. And I'm so glad that they got someone who like understands like self-harm and shit, because I think that's really fucking important as well.
I
love
Kristen Stewart, and just like Gerard Way, I just wish for Kristen Stewart to be happy every day. I hope a kitten jumps in her lap and purrs at her, and she gets free coffee, and like I just wish for every good thing for Kristen Stewart every day, forever, and I love her.
Who was it? Okay, if Dakota's still listening, there was I'll message you guys about it later. Someone fan cast her as someone, and I lost my shit with how perfect it was. It was a comic book character. I might have
It
to
might have been.
Ooh.
Was it on one of my casting calls? Hold on, let me see if I can find
No. Where is my
I love this. I love like going
betrothed?
through. Actually, yeah, that's what we should talk about with this comic. So we said Jensen Ackles as Midnighter
Absolutely.
and
Oh,
Carl
I
Urban
would
as
buy that for
Apollo.
that one.
The only issue with that is they're both straight, as far as I know. So like the
Yeah, that's
as we
true.
know.
That's true.
Yeah.
See, I think you're probably gonna get a lot of straight fan casts for this one because they are not typically gay men. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this. So the ambiguously gay duo. Do you know who the voices were for that?
No.
That
I
was
don't watch SNL. I'm a noob.
that was Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can I just say Stephen Colbert is definitely fucked a guy. Like 100%
Oh,
fucked a guy.
100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out
Also,
there.
like, look up Stephen Colbert when he was younger. That dude was like
Is he babe?
a fucking fox. Like, I wish I
I
would
think
have
he's a
met
fox
up
now.
with him like in a bar and talked about Tolkien.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
no, yeah,
man,
he's
his
still pretty
rants
cool.
on Lord of the Rings is so
Oh my god,
hot.
yeah, he's such a fucking nerd. I
That
love
one
it.
time that
So hot.
James Franco like tried to come for him and he was
Yeah.
just like slapped him down. It's one of the most
In
aggressive
my
things
house,
I've ever-
yes.
Right?
In my house. I love it. Polly G said it and I realized I thought they were the same person. Who are you talking about?
That's not that crazy, honestly. They came up at the same time in comedy. They're really good friends.
Oh, those two.
They're both
Okay,
really
right.
nice men. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway.
Talking about The Office recently, this is such a like. Sorry, guys, we finished reviewing
Yeah.
the comic. Now we're just hanging out.
I was talking.
Yeah, now just
No,
chilling.
because I'm trying to look it up to see if I can freaking find Kristen Stewart.
Also, going back, I need to talk about the Suicide Squad because I haven't had a chance to talk about it with
Let's talk
people
about
yet.
that a little.
So, how can it be, G, that I feel most sympathetic for Sylvester Stallone in that movie?
You know who I feel the most like? I'm not sure I like that movie because like Starro, man. Like
Yeah.
that last line at the end of just like I was happy in the stars. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was heartbreaking. By the way, G,
Yeah.
was the suggestion to be Kristen Stewart playing Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman?
no.
Dang, because that was my suggestion and I think she would be amazing.
No, that would be good.
That would be good.
I'll think of it. Or I will think of it. I mean, I will make Dakota find the TikTok that
You
had the person talking about it.
Polly, you wouldn't
Yes.
recognize him. You wouldn't recognize him. But yeah, he's King Shark. And
He
he's
was
so
Norway, yeah.
Yeah. And he's so cute, man. Like King Shark is so cute.
And this is what bothered me with like that friend who hated it. I honestly like we don't really talk. It's someone like I knew in like middle school, but like I follow her because she lives in Australia and she has a really cute relationship and I like looking at her life.
That's nice.
Anyway,
That's cute.
right? I should like make you guys go meet because you would love her too.
Oh yeah. Do you know where in Australia she is?
I'll stalk her Facebook and then tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Her name's Justin. She's amazing. Anyway, but yeah, like what bummed me out about her hating it so much was like I genuinely thought it was a great film, not just like a good comic book movie, but like the shot where they do like the fight scene,
the helmet.
The
helmet. Yeah,
and,
man.
Like,
I was gonna bring that up too. Yeah,
I thought that was a great touch.
Like I just thought it was a really good movie, and so like that there are people that just hate it outright who don't even care about comics. I'm like, no,
you don't understand. This is a really well structured film. Like I am really into this era we're in of non-linear storytelling, and the way when they do it comedically like that, where it's like something is about to happen, but you need that 8 minutes of exposition to figure out why. That is hilarious to me. I love that little switchback. Also, John Cena was excellent.
I know. Like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I saw this goofy kid win a competition to get a contract on WWE. I saw John Cena's debut in wrestling. And he has come. No, he was always like big, but he's like not as big as he is now, but he has come a very long way from awkward, like young 20-something standing in the center of the ring reciting lines where you can see him visibly trying to remember what it is he's supposed to say on this mic in the middle of a ring with nobody else around. And like that's called growth. And he's just come such a long way.
It was Poison Ivy. K-Stu was Poison Ivy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Which, if you're talking about the Harley that we have right now, would be so fucking good because they already have really good chemistry.
I also love how keen Margot Robbie is to kiss girls because she keeps having these quotes in interviews where she's like, I'm pushing for the Ivy relationship. I'm like, don't worry, I'm pushing for it. Like,
dude, she would be such a good Ivy because I think like K-Stu has proven she can be like sex on a stick, but she can also be like gorgeous, androgynous.
You also need someone that's like can pull off highly intelligent because she's a scientist and needs like that brain power.
I can see her as the Harley Quinn animated series Ivy so easily.
Yeah.
I would let Kristen Stewart run me over with her car.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And I would thank her. Yeah, no.
I would tell everyone. Like before I went
Kristen
to the
Stewart touched me with her car, but she touched me.
Babe, your femur is out of your leg. Yeah, but did you hear my story?
That's right. I'm never washing this leg again.
Yeah, on the subject, I really wish that they would do a Midnighter and Apollo movie because it would be really easy. There's actually a lot of really good source material out there that they could pick for any story. They could, in fact, use this miniseries, and it would be fantastic.
This miniseries would be an excellent movie, I feel.
Like,
it'd be a violent, 90 minutes.
Violent, irreverent superhero movies are really in right now. This is a great time for them to capitalize on that and to just do something off the wall out there. I mean, that's why this worked, is James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I'm a comic person and I didn't read Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, what? They really picked this to make? Nobody reads this. And it was huge. And then he comes along and he did the Suicide Squad and just totally breathed very much needed new life into DC's movies. And if they just kind of keep going on this route of funny, irreverent, like not mired down in its own bullshit, they could do it really well.
What would a James Gunn X-Men film look like? No? Not into it?
No.
It would probably look like the Ecstatics, to be honest.
Okay,
because I'd like to see like a James Gunn Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, that'd be cool. The only thing I didn't like about the Singer adaptations was like and I can't remember who directed the ones after that, but they were all so like leather dark, the same shit that I have issues with the DCU. Like, I just want some fun and some color and stuff from cartoons and shit that I used to read as a kid.
Plus, I think with the X-Men, I've been saying for years, I'll keep saying it, I don't think the X-Men need movies. I think they need a TV universe.
Zachary Quinto as like Midnight.
Just in general, I'm a fan. What about him? I love him.
He's pretty great. Yeah, he's pretty great.
I love him too. I don't know that he's got the right aura, like the right atmosphere. He doesn't have the right chemistry, I think. That's just my opinion. But I do love him, and I would love him to play literally anyone else.
Yeah, I think he would be he's really good at playing villains, as we've seen over and over again. But like, my favorite thing about him is he worked with Shane Dawson once back in the day. There was like a competition, I think, where two filmmakers were given the same script and they had to like do their own version, and then it was kind of like reviewed by people, and he was producing it and Zachary Quinto was producing it, and it got to the point where Shane was so problematic that he pulled the funding for Shane's, and Shane had to find it elsewhere. And it makes me so happy every time I think about it, because I'm like, yeah, and that was before he fell out of favor too. That was when he was still popular and like people hadn't figured out that he'd fucked his cat and done all the other shit that he's done. So cool dude. I will support his casting in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out a casting suggestion for Midnighter, and it's a gay man who has, I think, the look and the physique. Matt Bomer.
Ooh.
I feel like he is the gay man now, though.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's so pretty.
And also for me,
he's good at
he's
it.
negative man, you know.
Mm.
But yeah.
Oh, is he doing something?
Yeah, he's in Doom Patrol.
I haven't watched Doom Patrol yet.
Dude, you're in for a fucking treat. Like that is.
I know.
It's not
I
a good
keep hearing good
superhero
things.
show. It's one of the best shows I have ever seen. Just period.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah,
We
it's got
should,
Brendan Fraser, so of course I have to watch it because I love Brendan Fraser.
So
And I know that I've said it.
both
I've said it about two
compelling
different people already, but I don't think that there is a single person in Hollywood, if not the world, who deserves nice things for the rest of his life than Brendan Fraser, who is an absolute treasure of a human being. He is a cinnamon bun, and he should be protected at all costs.
Okay,
I
you know when you
retweeted
see
that
like
today.
a movie and there's like people that are in love and their parents like hide their letters.
Mhm.
That is how I feel about like Society and Brendan Fraser. That like we never stopped loving you, but
Yeah.
producers and like executives kept our love from you.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
vice versa through these like vicious lies and shit. But like we never stopped. We were
Yes.
always here for you.
Always loved him.
He had the standard female Hollywood experience of like reporting sexual assault and losing your career over it. And so it's so nice to see him in a Scorsese film. Like he's going to be with Robert De Niro
Okay,
and
dude.
shit.
Killers of the
That's
Flower
awesome.
Moon is an amazing book. And like if you don't have time for the book, make sure you see this because like it's a really important story that people should know about like it's a true story about a Native American tribe in the Osage area that like their land happened to be on a shit ton of oil, so they were uniquely positioned as wealthy Native Americans in America, which as you can imagine a white supremacist government did not appreciate. So they did a Britney Spears and made it so like you had to have a conservatorship and only a white person could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all these Native women and men sometimes ended up getting murdered.
Yep.
So like white people could inherit the money, and like that's what this movie is about. So like yeah, it's super fucking important. Please see it, get the book, watch the thing. Like this is something people should know about.
Yeah. Even if you're not going to read the book, just buy the book.
Just buy it. No, literally, just buy it. It's very popular. You could probably find it in a used bookstore near you.
Hell yeah. That's a really good rec. And a really good review. I felt like there was some really good points made there by both of you, and I always love hearing how your beautiful brains think about the things. So this was really nice. I enjoyed this a lot.
Yes.
Should we I know we should leave with this. Hang on, let me get it back because this is really important. We should definitely leave with that.
Oh yeah. I think that at the end is like really where it all comes down to, like everything we've been talking about.
That's right. Like that's the center of it. So I think, is there any parting words from either of you before we say goodbye to everyone? Thank you so much for coming to hang out, by the way. It was so nice.
Just give this series a read if you ever get the chance. If you, like I said, want to see what they're up to lately, go out and get the last, I don't know, like 5 or 6 issues of Action Comics. And grab Superman and the Authority.
Yeah. Good times. Anything from you, G? Your old G?
Just remember that the U.S. doesn't have extradition with Venezuela.
That was a bomb drop.
Just in case.
Important. Yeah, important. Yeah. Well, nothing I say after that is going to sound meaningful at all. So I'm just going to say thanks so much for coming to hang out. That was really great. And listen to these peeps because they these peeps because they're great and so well spoken and articulate and intelligent and beautiful. So just come hang out. That's it. Yeah, good to know, says Polly. Thanks, Polly. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Judah. Thanks everyone that was here. Jim, it was really, really fun to see everyone. Aramis, if you're still here, it was really nice to see you, and we will see y'all hopefully next week at regular time.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? It's chaotic. Be gay, do crime.